Hello everyone, I am back. It's been a little while since I uploaded my last video. This is kind of my first regular review type video of the year since I did the Cats one and then some lists. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Pixar film Onward, which released just a couple weeks ago actually. You probably already know that I'm a huge Pixar fan. I've always loved their movies. I have 2 whole videos talking about all of their movies actually. Recently, they have released their 22nd feature film, Onward. Onward was directed by Dan Scanlon, who previously has directed Monsters University, a movie I'm not really a big fan of, and that, with a lot of other reasons, led to me having some doubts when it came to this movie pre-release. I was worried it would be cliché, generic, really boring and unoriginal. However, when I finally did see Onward, I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that I kinda love this movie. Quick note, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, however I will be talking about some character and plot points. I'm not going to give away the ending, but I will be discussing plot points of the movie. While I'm not going to say that Onward is the most original movie ever made or anything, even from Pixar, it does have some, cliche and generic jokes and follows a pretty basic plot structure from beginning, middle, end. Those things don't bother me. If you have something that's been done a lot, it's only a problem if it's not done well. And in my opinion, this movie is done very well. It starts off with lots of good build-up to the story and the characters, which I always appreciate, and then as the adventure actually gets going, everything is paced pretty well. One thing I can say about this movie is that it was very entertaining. There was never a moment where I wanted something else to be happening, or I wanted it to just move on. Or for that matter, there wasn't really any moments I wanted to be watching a different movie. Because this movie manages to keep you invested in the characters and the story. I'll admit it could be pretty difficult for some people to care about the journey when the dad is represented by pants. That's understandable, but it didn't bother me at all, so that's really just a personal preference thing. I can definitely see that this won't be a movie for everyone to say this is one of their favorite Pixar movies. Even for me, as someone who loved it, it's still in the bottom half of my ranking. That's only because Pixar is just so good at making good movies. However, there are definitely going to be complaints people come up with for this movie. I haven't seen any actual sound criticisms for this movie. Like, I haven't seen anyone who disliked it give a good reason for disliking it. It purely comes down to personal preference, less than the movie actually being poorly made. Does that make sense? Of course, if you're going to be going on an adventure with characters in a movie, the characters actually need to be good. And in my opinion, the characters are very good. The movie follows 2 brothers on their quest to bring back their dad for a day so that the younger one can finally meet him since his dad died before he was born. Like, that's an interesting enough idea for a fantasy story anyway. The idea of going on a quest to bring someone back to life. The characters are just so likable and well made to me that I was totally in on their adventure the whole way through. I actually really liked Chris Pratt's character Barley a lot more than I expected to. Trailers made him look like he was just going to be an over-the-top Chris Pratt character, exactly what you would expect. But he actually had a lot of good emotion and depth to him that I wasn't expecting at all. I won't say he's my favorite character, I think that's probably Ian, who of course is voiced by Tom Holland. I do think that the casting is good, but okay. So Pixar has always used celebrity voices in their movies, which is just a strategy that animated movies have been doing for like 30 years now. But I think that for this movie, more than Pixar's other movies, it feels like the casting was definitely in part to get more people to see the movie. Like, Up starred Ed Asner. How many kids knew who Ed Asner was before Up and were like, dude, I want to see that movie because of Ed Asner? Usually you want to see a Pixar movie because it's Pixar, but I think they didn't think people would care about Onward, so they cast currently popular superhero actors in the lead roles of their movie in hopes that that would work. I think it probably has as well. You have Tom Holland in your movie, people are obviously going to be excited to see it. But I do think Tom Holland is good in this movie. I do think all of the voice acting is really solid, actually. Octavia Spencer as the Manticore, very entertaining, very fun character. I also really like the mom. Ian Barley's mom is awesome. She's funny. She's awesome. Easily best Pixar mom since Elastigirl. But yeah, the characters all around are really solid. This is definitely mostly centered around our two leads, and then the other characters that show up later down the road are in one or two scenes. Because this is like a road trip movie, you have to take some stops, you see some new characters, they're not really going to be important. There's shopkeepers and biker gangs and everything. It's nothing too important. They're just side characters because you need to have something actually going on. But I think everyone in the cast did a great job. And not a spoiler, however, I'm going to briefly talk about the ending. I had a specific idea for what I wanted the ending to be. I won't say what that is. However, I had a specific idea in my mind when the first trailer was released for Onward of how I wanted it to end. And while the movie didn't end exactly in that way, I think it's actually better than what I wanted. If you're not into the story of this movie for the first two acts, the third act should definitely interest you. It's just really good. Pixar is really good at endings. I haven't talked about the animation or anything, but it's Pixar. I mean, if you've seen a Pixar movie, you've seen how amazing Pixar movies can look. Even their worst movies have great animation. I will say I would like them to change things up a bit with their character designs in the future, because we're getting to the point where every Pixar character looks the same. I like to look at other animated movies coming out around this same time. Like just a year or so ago, Spider-Verse came out that had obviously very influential animation, and the character designs are very different from what you normally see in an animated film. And I would like to see Pixar actually change things up with their character designs so that their movies will be better than they already are. I'm really looking forward to Soul. It looks amazing. I haven't watched the trailer that just came out, but I will say I wish the character designs would look a little bit more grounded. That's just a personal thing. It's nothing against Pixar really, because they make everything they have work well with what they do. Did that make sense? I don't think it did. But anyway, that's all I really have to say about this movie. I had a great time with Onward. I really want to see it again. It's a really fun movie, but the whole brother aspect of it really hit home with me, since I do have a brother that I've always been close with. If you're a Pixar fan, then you should see Onward. If you're a fan of fantasy adventure movies, you should see this movie. I think everyone should see it just to see if they will like it. I'm sure a lot of people won't like it as much as I do, and that's completely fine. If you don't like this movie, that's completely fine. But I loved it, I had a great time with it, and I really want to see it again. I would love to watch it with my brother sometime. It made me laugh, it made me feel a lot of emotions, it was very entertaining, it did everything I want Pixar movies to do. And if I was going to insert it into my Pixar ranking, I would put it right in between Monsters, Inc. and Inside Out at 12th place out of 24, right in the middle. 24, there's 22. You get what I'm saying. But anyway, I don't really have a question of the day for today, so what's your favorite movie about brothers, I guess? That'll be my question of the day. If you would like to subscribe to my channel and also tell your friends to subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. I've been inactive for over a month, so my channel is probably going to be more dead than it already is. If you have tips for how I can improve my videos, I'd greatly appreciate them. I really want to improve, make them better, get better at making them myself. You can leave any tips and questions and suggestions in the description. No, you can't, in the comments. If you would like me to stop messing up my words, subscribe and I will improve. And until next time, I will see you next time.